The Meditations of Emperor Marcus Aurelius Antoninus, Book 5, continued. In one respect, men are the most dearly attached to us, as we are ever obliged to do good to them. But in another respect, as they sometimes obstruct us in our proper offices, they are to be reputed among things indifferent, no less than the sun, the wind, or a savage beast. For any of these may obstruct us in the discharge of our proper external offices, but none of them can obstruct our purpose or our dispositions, because of that reservation and power of turning our course. For the soul can convert and change every impediment of its first intended action into a more excellent object of action, and thus 'tis for its advantage to be obstructed in action, and it advances in its road by being stopped in it. Reverence that which is most excellent in the universe, which employs all parts of it as it pleases, and governs all. In like manner, reverence that which is most excellent in yourself. Now this is of a like nature with the former, as it is what employs and directs all other powers in your nature, and your whole life is governed by it. What is not hurtful to the state or city cannot hurt the citizen. Make use of this rule upon every conception of anything as hurting you. If the city is not hurt by it, I cannot be hurt. If the city should receive hurt by it, yet we should not be angry at him who hurt it, but show him what he has neglected, or how he has done wrong. Consider frequently how swiftly all things which exist or arise are swept away and carried off. Their substance is as a river in a perpetual course. Their actions are in perpetual changes, and the causes subject to 10,000 alterations. Scarce anything is stable. And the vast eternities, past and ensuing, are close upon it on both hands, in which all things are swallowed up. Must he not, then, be a fool who is either puffed up with success in such things, or is distracted and full of complaints about the contrary, as if it could give disturbance of any duration? Remember how small a part you are of the universal nature, how small a moment of the whole duration is appointed for you, and how small a part you are of the object of universal fate or providence. Does anyone injure me? Let him look to it. He hath his own disposition and his own work. I have that disposition which the common president nature wills me to have, and act that part which my own nature recommends to me. Keep the governing part of the soul unmoved by the grateful or painful commotions of the flesh, and let it not blend itself with the body, but circumscribe and separate itself, and confine these passions to those bodily parts. When they ascend into the soul by means of that sympathy constituted by its union with the body, there is no withstanding of the sensation which is natural. But let not the governing part add also its opinion concerning them, as if they were good or evil. We should live a divine life with the gods. He lives with the gods who displays before them his soul, pleased with all they appoint for him, and doing whatever is recommended by that divinity within, which Jupiter hath taken from himself, and given each one as the conductor and leader of his life. And this is the intellectual principle and reason in each man. Can you be angry at one whose armpits or whose breath are disagreeable? How can the man help it who has such a mouth or such armpits? They must have a smell. But says one, man has reason. He could by attention discern what is injurious in his actions. These may justly raise anger. Well, God bless you. You have this reason too. Rouse then his rational dispositions by your rational dispositions. Instruct, suggest to him what is right. If he listens to you, you have cured him, and then there is no occasion for anger. Let us have no tragical exclamations against the vices and injuries of others, nor a base concurrence with them, like that of harlots. You may live at present in the same way you would choose to be living, when you knew your death was approaching. If you are hindered to do so, then you may quit life, and yet without conceiving the quitting it as evil. If my house be smoky, I go out of it, and where is the great matter? While no such thing forces me out, I stay as free, and who can hinder me to act as I please? But my pleasure is to act as the rational and social nature requires. The soul of the universe is kind and social. It has therefore made the inferior orders for the sake of the superior, and has suited the superior beings for each other. You see how it hath subordinated, and coordinated, and distributed to each according to its merit, and engaged the nobler beings into a mutual agreement and unanimity. Examine yourself thus. How have you behaved toward the gods, toward your parents, your brothers, your wife, your children, your teachers, those who educated you, your friends, your intimates, your domestics? Have you never said or done anything unbecoming toward any of them? Recollect through how many affairs of life you have passed, and what offices you have been able to sustain and discharge. The history of your life and of your public service to the gods is not completed. What beautiful and honorable things are seen in your life? What pleasures and what pains have you despised? What occasions of vain ostentation have you designedly omitted? Toward how many perverse, unreasonable creatures have you exercised discretion and lenity? Why should the instructed, the intelligent and skillful soul be disturbed by the rude and illiterate? What soul is truly skillful and intelligent? That which knows the cause and the end of all things, and that reason which pervades all substances in all ages, and governs the whole universe by certain determined periods. Presently you shall be only ashes and dry bones, and a name, or perhaps not even a name. A name is but a certain noise or sound or echo. The things most honored in life are but vain, rotten, mean, little dogs snapping at each other, children squabbling and vying with each other, laughing and presently weeping again. But integrity, modesty, justice, and truth, from the wide range of earth have soared to heaven. What then should detain thee here? Since all things sensible are in perpetual change without any stability, the senses themselves but dull and apt to admit false appearances, the animal life but an exhalation from blood. To have reputation among such animals is a poor, empty thing. Why then should you not wait patiently for either your extinction or translation into another state? Until the proper season for it comes, what should suffice thee? To reverence and praise the gods, and to do good to men, bearing with their weakness, abstaining from injuries, and considering external things subservient to thy poor body and life, as what are not thine nor in thy power. You may always be prosperous if you go on in the right way, in right opinions and actions. These two advantages are common to gods, to men, and every rational soul. One, that they can be hindered by nothing external. The other, that they have their proper good or happiness in their just dispositions and actions, and can make their desires terminate and cease here, without extending further. If this event be neither any vice of mine, nor any action from any vicious disposition of mine, nor be hurtful to the whole, why am I disturbed by it? Nay, who can hurt the whole? Don't let your imagination hurry you away incautiously in any seeming distress of your friend. Assist him to the utmost of your power, as far as he deserves in these indifferent sorts of things, but don't imagine that he has sustained any evil. There is no evil in such things, but as in the comedy, the old foster father asks from the child, with great earnestness, his top as a token of his love, though he knew well it was a childish toy. Just so you must act in life about the toys which others value. When you are vehemently declaiming from the rostrum, should one say to you, "What, man, have you forgot the nature of these things you are so keen about?" Nay, say you, though I have not forgot it, yet I know these are matters of serious concern to others, and therefore you do well to act thus. But take care you don't in your own sentiments become a fool, because others are fools. You may so manage that, in whatever place or time one comes upon you, you may be found a man of a happy lot. He has the happy lot who distributes one to himself. The happy lots are good dispositions of soul, good desires and purposes, and good actions. End of Book 5, The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius Antoninus.